Hi, everybody. I thought that that intro was going to play, but it didn't. But that's all right. How's everybody doing? Is everybody watching with bated breath to see whether that House is going to pass the bill to release the files? Hey, Pamaran, you ready for some insight? So, yeah. Did anybody see that photograph? Hey, Sam PM. Hi, hey, Sandy Miller. Um, the photograph. Did anybody see the photograph of Trump walking past? I think it was a destroyed East Wing with like the American flag on the ground. I thought I saw a brief glimpse of it, but I've been hearing people talk about that. Oh my God, that is yeah. What he thinks about our country. Hey, Stephanie. Hi. So yeah, today's the day, but once the House releases the files, then it's going to go to the Senate, and which I think they will vote to release the files, and then the Senate's going to kind of block it. Um, hey, Bridget York. Hey, Pixie. Hi. And but whatever happens, it's going to keep the pressure on uh, the Republicans and Trump because if the Senate does block the release, whatever stupid things, I mean, whatever excuses they make, yeah, there's so much pressure now, and there's so much coming out, right? So much. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, why aren't people more up in arms about this? He's literally destroying everything. I think they are. I just don't think that the media, like the mainstream media is really paying attention to that. But my sense is that Trump is less and less popular in this country, and people are really kind of his base are withdrawing from him, and just the general, uh, people in the red Trump areas. I think he's losing a ton of support, and that's a problem, for the elections coming up for the Republicans. And then I just heard that how Texas wanted to gerrymander all of Texas. A judge has blocked that today. I believe so. I think that's just what I saw. I was watching Aaron Parnas, and so that stopped. I don't know what happens after that. Yeah, that's crazy. We him with MBS, and then talking about giving um, what missiles or something fighter jets to our enemies, the Saudis. MBS who brought on the demise of Khashoggi, and it's it's just beyond because the orange one doesn't care about anything but pleasing his other autocrats and pay for play, and he's just dropped his mask completely. He may pay lip service, saying, what is he saying now? His focus is on affordability. And I saw a clip of Fox News, Jesse Walters and the others, and they're talking about how the prices right now, there's inflation, but it's going to go down. But the holidays, you can budget for the holidays, and Grandma doesn't need a present. Somebody literally said that. I thought, do they listen to themselves? Do they understand how that sounds, especially after the Great Gatsby party? That literally is let them eat cake. You don't need to buy a present for Grandma. And this is the media that's led them to this point. Can somebody explain that to me? That was insanity to hear that. Like, and they said it like unironically. Oh yeah, Jamie. Yeah, of course he is. My guys have shown me that, but I've heard other people say that. I mean, the foxes are in the hen house, and they have been for a while now, and they're taking what they can get. Yeah, those parties. That second party, right, with the synchronized swimmers in those gold bathing suits. Um, but Fox has the temerity to tell people that Grandma doesn't need a present. And oh, what did she say? This wasn't Jessie. This is a woman. She's saying, yeah, anybody just buy presents for anybody between infant and 18. Forget the slippers, forget the socks for anybody else. Yes, and oh, that is definitely the spirit of Christmas. I don't know the echo chamber of that. I don't know. I just don't know because I do know in a way because it's come to this ridiculous point, and what else can they do or say? They're robbing us blind. I did see a meme, uh, something like Trump's 47th presidency is his seventh bankruptcy or something like that. Hey, Slam, hi. What is going to happen with our health insurance? Will the Republicans come to our aid? Um, in what world would the Republicans do that? But I will ask. I mean, that's a biased thing, I guess I'm saying. They don't want to come to our aid. Otherwise, they would have extended the Affordable Care Act. Um, will the Republicans come to their aid? It's a mixed answer. The Democrats will force their hand at some point because of just the pressure that the populace is going to put on them. But well, this is the conundrum for them because this is couldn't be for many of the Republicans running again the deciding factor on whether they get in to office again. So they kind of have to for their constituents. But then the administration is absolutely not interested. They like the perversity of it. They like the suffering of it. The cruelty is the point. Um, and let them suffer basically because they really feel the philosophy is that only the rich and wealthy deserve to be rich and wealthy, and the rest are just poor suckers and losers. And that's their lot, and they deserve that. And without the poor, they wouldn't feel so good about being rich. They want that dichotomy, right? So I think that's going to be, especially with the Hayes mom, with the midterms bearing down, there will be a struggle, and it could very well bring. Well, I believe that yeah, the Democrats will win the House and the Senate, and I don't even know if Trump's around. There could be a big shakeup there. I keep on hoping, that Kamala Harris gets back in there somehow. She won. So that all needs to come out too. That truth, which my guys tell me that's coming out that she won the election. Um, so I'm sorry I can't give better answers than I am, but that's the sense I get right now from my guys. But eventually we will. I think we'll have universal or single payer healthcare, universal healthcare. I think we will have that eventually. I think all of this, like, there's a huge pendulum swing. It goes way over the other side, and all these things that minimum wage, women's the ERA, all that stuff actually comes back into being part of our democracy. Like people get like into sharper focus. This is what we want. We do want this. We don't care what you call it. We don't care if you call it socialism or Marxism. I wonder, the people who talk about democratic Marxists, do they even know what Marxism is or socialism is? They're just dog whistles, right? So let's see if I missed any questions. So, there were things, and I don't know if I'm a little bit on a lag. Oh, I see a question here. Um, Nanette's asking, where does all this leave G. Maxwell now with 45 still, will he still commute her sentence? That's an interesting question. Let me see what the guides say here. He wants to. He wants her to be free. Think about how many Epstein related people are in his administration, and other administrations around the world, and like how, like, like they stick together, um, crooks together. Um, so what I see is that there's a struggle with that, and he really wants to, but then there's a pushback amongst his own people because it's so unpopular. And she's just like already packing her bags and ready to go. That's what I see. If she does get out, it is, unfortunately, I never wish ill on anyone, but that is a bad situation for her. I know what I see is her getting out of the country, but I don't think her, like, maybe she'll go to France, or she wants to go back to France, but I don't see her reception being good. So even though she thinks if she gets out, things can go on, you know, as they used to, that's not going to happen. Wherever she goes, she's a pariah. Um, she's booed. She's not accommodated. And if she stays in this country, it's the same. She can't hide. She's good at hiding. Remember when she hid before she got arrested? Somewhere in, was it in nor, northern New York or something? Or Connecticut, somewhere there, I think. Um, she really wants to, she hasn't learned anything. She really wants to go back to the good old days, which may, allegedly, and, entertainment purposes only. I'm just a psychic talking to my guides. What do I know? That's my hashtag, or not my hashtag, my shtick. That's what I want to say. I'm just listening to my guides. But what I see, what the guides show me, is she would be very happy to go back to that lifestyle that she had with Epstein. She has, oh, Massachusetts. Thank you, thank you, Debbie. Um, that she Ghislaine went hidden out in Massachusetts. Let's see. Let me look a little bit more into her future. Maybe we'll get a better idea that way. Um, she may even, things may come about where she ends up going back to prison for a long time. Um, it may, I don't know how that can happen, but that's what they're showing me. She may end up just going back to prison. New evidence coming out, even new trials if necessary, because all of this information is coming out. All of these emails, there's gonna be videos. It doesn't matter whether or not, to what I want to say, to me, or what I can see, if the this vote fails in the Senate, or stalls in the Senate to release the Epstein files, or they say there's a pending investigation, so we can't release them. I do see so much getting out, and not just by the House, the committee, the House committee, but other countries releasing information. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I think I said this in my last live, but I heard it was Allison Gill. Yeah, I did talk about it, but she was talking about how when I don't know if it's still the case, but so Bondi, remember she had like 1,000 FBI workers, just focusing on these files and probably, uh, redacting T. Rump's name. But she said that there was no security over those files, and those are all the files, right? And all of those people, the 1,000 FBI workers, had complete access at any given time to download any of those files. So if you think about the status of those files, they're flying around everywhere and potentially. So I do believe that it's going to get, they're showing me like dump trucks, pulling up and full to the gills and, dumping information. Oh, okay, Debbie, she was in Manchester by the Sea. Ghislaine was specifically. Thank you for that. So the guides say I see what they're showing me. It's like everywhere she lands, if she gets out, it's hot coals. It's like she has to jump here and there and there and there. Yeah, like hot coals on the ground for her, and she's barefoot. um, oh, she likes to be barefoot, by the way. That's what they say. But that's an aside. Um, so it's not happy for her one way or the other. So she might go back to the security. I don't know if she was in a maximum security prison or wherever she was. I don't think she'll stay in this one. And I asked if there'll be justice for the inmates that they threw into a maximum security prisons just because they revealed some information about her. That's so ridiculous and cruel. But they actually get released. Their sentences are commuted. They get released because of the injustice. That's what the guides are saying. Uh, God, this the destruction that this administration is causing is just unreal. But that destruction of the East Wing breaks my heart, and I think we're traumatized by that. We don't even realize because nobody's showing pictures of the East Wing. Nobody's remembering it. It was very, very, very important. It was an important part of the White House. It was in our democracy and things that went on there. So, guys, you're welcome to ask more questions if you like. What would you like me to talk about? And in the meantime, I will think of things to talk about. Let's see. There's so much, that went on. There always is. Flood the zone, right? Oh yeah, we had a week where there was talk of Scott Bessant and his uh, theory of economic instability. There was the Supreme Court and the tariffs, right? And there's talk about especially Amy Coney Barrett having sharp words against the tariffs, and that the Supreme Court could rule to discard them. And then Trump jumps in, right, and goes, "Oh, I'm getting rid of the tariffs." That's interesting. Remember that a couple days ago? And Russell Vought and his traumatized the federal workers stuff that came out in the last few weeks. So everything that we, kind of perceive as happening is happening, right? It's not just theories. They really are traumatizing us and trying to destroy our democracy with a wrecking ball. Um, they're let's see what else. Now things are escaping me. But I think the Democrats are fighting magnificently. I'm going to speak up for them because this is all very strategic, what's going on here. And the tide is turning, right? That's what it feels like to me. Yeah. Oh, for that and many, many other things, Jay. Jamie, if he pardons her, I hope he's tracked out of the White House, never to return. But there'll be many, many reasons for that. Yes, with her phone wrapped in tinfoil. She truly is like a Disney. I always bring up Disney. I don't know why, like because they're so archetypal. Those characters. She is like Cruella Deville or somebody like that. Oh, I know that Christy Nolan kind of fights for that title too. And Tulsi Gabbard actually looks like Cruella Deville with that white lock of hair there. So insanity, but things are falling apart for them. Oh, who is Baba Pixie? Great question. I do not believe it's Bill Clinton. I never got that feeling. I know that was a nickname of his. And then there's the speculation, is it Ghislaine Maxwell's horse? Or was it a joke? That's what Epstein's brother said, that it was just a joke. But let's ask. Yeah, Stephanie, he said it wasn't Clinton. And then I saw more of, maybe it was even Stephen Colbert, who's bringing it up. And I had that quote with Epstein's brother saying it was a lighthearted interaction between, who was it? It was Epstein and who was it, between Epstein and his brother, or Epstein and Michael Wolff? I can't remember. So, okay, it was a joke. Not that I wouldn't put past anything. Uh, yeah, T-Rump, I wouldn't uh, put anything past him like that. But I just don't see it. I don't believe it was Bill Clinton. I never did. Hey, Linda, how are you doing? Yeah, there is a lot in those emails. I mean, there was like 23,000. 23,000. Hi, Juanita. How you doing? Um, so how many have we heard about? It's a very small amount. There's a lot. So, ooh, Linda, that sounds good. You're canning homemade chili, yum. Uh, you're making me want some. Um, let's see. Oh, you're curious on how vote is feeling right now? I will ask. Frustrated. Things that he thought were going to be like a slam dunk, really easy. The Elon initially came in and tried to destroy. There's too much like resilience in the federal government, and it's not happening in the way he wants it to happen. I mean, he certainly has traumatized us. Good job, vote. You really, kind of kudos for you to traumatize the American public the way you did. Um, but there's something where he's having a block. He's not capable. He's not able to do, and there's too much oversight, and he can't do it. He can't destroy the bureaucracy the way he wanted. I'm not sure why, but my guides are just showing his frustration to me. Um, thanks, Linda. um, Stephanie, so does anybody know if that lawsuit's been settled, or if, well, Stephanie's question is what will come of Trump's $1 billion lawsuit against the BBC? And I kind of hesitate to answer because I'm wondering if something has come of it uh, that we don't know about. I'm just looking at my phone. Um, can somebody else do that as I'm doing the show? Can somebody kind of Google lawsuit, T-Rump lawsuit, BBC or whatever? I would so appreciate that. Um, I remember what the lawsuit was about now too. Was they were showing his speech when he in his fascist fascist dress. Do you remember that black coat and those gloves? And he's full on fascist. I thought. I wondered who did his styling. Um, and there was a part where he said, "We walk peacefully and da da to the Capitol," and I guess, they edited that out, allegedly, and that's what the lawsuit's about. Oh, thank you. He can't sue the BBC. Um, the BBC is owned by the public, so it wasn't doctored. The video, it was just edited out. They didn't doctored is more when you put things in, make it look like he said something that he didn't say, but but it was more he left out that part. That wasn't doctoring; it was just editing. And how's that vote going, by the way, Jamie? I vote against releasing the files. Claire Higgins out of Louisiana. Oh, good. BBC will not pay a penny. So many of like Fox edits so many of his interviews because they don't make any sense. They string something together that kind of looks somewhat legitimate. Melissa, after 45 has gone, will loopholes be closed so that no other corrupt men and women can do what he's doing? Yes, there's going to be huge amount of focus on that. I do see loopholes being closed up. My guys are showing me that. Yes, and thank God, because and Citizens Alliance will be gone, and we'll get private money out of the public domain or interest. Yeah, that's okay, CD. I just I didn't mean to be so nitpicky, but I just the lawsuit was more editing than doctrine. Yeah, T-Rump forgets the British public owns the BBC. Everything is his. That's the thing with the orange one. It's all mine. I own it all. I want all of it. I'm controlling every single thing. But he doesn't control Britain. Trump, Sandy's saying Trump thinks he can sue everyone and they will just pay him off and drop it. Yeah, that's his whole life has been that. There's got to be a reform with lawsuits too, because it's too easy to sue somebody for nothing, so it seems. Oh, so C.D. Douglas is saying that the BBC can be sued. Well, I don't know, but you can Google it, you guys. You got Google at your fingertips. Um, so whatever happens, you know, I don't think he's going to be around for much longer. I really don't. Oh, no, that reminds me. That reminds me. Okay, you guys, did you hear that a few days ago, JD Vance's motorcade was going through some town in Tennessee, and they caused, like, I don't know if they ran over or caused um, this person to be run over. He was a sheriff. He was like a local sheriff guarding the motorcade, and he ended up in critical condition in the hospital. And that motorcade, like, they stopped for a minute and then they moved on, and it was only because the passerbys took care of him and got into the hospital that he survived. I think he's still alive. But JD Vance's convoy is like, oh, whatever, and they moved on. And he didn't make a public statement, as far as I've heard so far. Oh my God, that is so like um, Was it is it Louis the 15th? I mean, the Marie Antoinette, that, when the carriages used to run, the royal carriages or the aristocrats used to run over the, poor peasants and beggars on the side of the road and just move on. I mean, that was the kind of like, the dichotomy there. Did anybody else hear about that? But it did happen. I'm not quite sure if it happened quite the way I said, but I know that it was because of the motorcade, and they didn't really help him at all, and they just moved on. What a wonderful person. Yeah, all this losing. Oh my God, Leslie, that's amazing. So Leslie's saying 45's lawsuit against CNN was thrown out as meritless by a Fed appeals panel today. And I'm really glad CNN, went through with the lawsuit and didn't just cave and concede, because that's been the problem, right? Where these companies want mergers and they just kind of cave, and it's like stealing money. I'm taking it because it's mine, because I can take it, because I'm a big bully. It's so bad. Some net says they blamed it on the police for the accident, but there was no concern. Oh, and I shouldn't, I'm not arguing with you, but I'm just saying there was no concern for this man. I was just in the way. We're going to carry on. Um, but they were the police, I think, that were guarding the motorcade, weren't they? Can you maybe, you don't have to, but if you have any more information, I would love to hear. I can't even imagine if it was Biden or Obama or even, I don't know about, maybe even Bush's motorcade, or, oh my God, or if it was Kamala Harris, there's no way that they would just move on and not pay any attention and not make any statements. Maybe they're just starting to make statements now because people paid attention to it. I agree. I agree, Brenda. Journalists need to stand on business and defend the truth. So that was just a little piece of news about JD. Yeah. Linda's saying, I read that bystanders and homeless people helped the law enforcement officer that was injured. He is in the hospital and still alive, right? Thank God. You wonder what the police, a lot of police were just so pro-Trump. What are they feeling now that they released, the insurrectionists, January 5th, 6th perpetrators who had harmed police, and like just how, um, the mask is lifted. Like, this administration does not care about the police. They care about ICE. Didn't ICE shoot some police or pepper spray them or something? It's out of control. What else has happened? Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. And Tennessee is so red hat. Jeez Louise. You can't even pretend, right, JD? You can't pretend to care. And so, oh yeah, and T-Rump called a woman journalist piggy, which I think is ironic, because I don't like name calling or anything, but every time and I've said this in a past lives, every time I see Carolyn Levitt, she reminds me of evil Miss Piggy. I can just see Miss Piggy popping up, or an evil version of her, and because Caroline Levitt, she has that pig nose, Um, don't you think? Oh my God. Oh yeah, they're all cut from the same cloth, just like T ignored the man who collapsed in the Oval last week. Because narcissists, they're just narcissists. Or dyed in the wool narcissists are narcissists. That's a narcissist. Don't care. I don't know what's going on, Brenda. Yeah, Chair was 45 looking in a mirror. Um, so I guess people still talking about JD and Erica, or is that like last week's thing or the week before? That was like crazy. Oh, I know something adjacent to that was what was coming out this week, I think, about Butler and the is it Cook? What's the name of the now deceased assassin or so-called assassin? Was found even more so to be a big Trumpy, a big MAGA red hat. Uh, yes, they should. They should. Lynette, SNL should use the piggy thing as a cold open and have Miss Piggy karate chop Chief Rump. Oh my God. Do you remember him saying like last week or the week before her lips are Carolyn's lips are like what did he say about her lips? Something like just oh my God. I can't remember now. Like can anybody remember what he said? You know, just maybe the way they kind of magnificently just boom 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 like uh not bullets. It was something crazy. It was something awful. He and the way that he is with her, and the way she is with him. It reminds me though, like he always seems to get these women that are like almost enslaved to him, and in some way, machine gun. Thank you, Sandy. Yeah, like machine guns. What did that even mean? Her lips like machine guns. Um, yeah, we Brenda, we have moved on a notch. Bubba. Oh, is that who's bringing it up? Tucker is actually questioning the assassination attempt in Butler, which I have always thought. I've always thought that it was just a false flag, a way of getting T-Rump sympathy because he was doing so horribly in the election. And I was pretty sure he set it up with Putin because their planes were right next to each other on the tarmac of some airport, and then this before the election, and then T-Rump went like into hiding almost for like 10 days, and then that thing happened. And then that reminds me so much of the CK thing too. I mean, the way it was set up, the a narrative, something, it just, neither of those things smell right at all. Um, CM says, I don't understand why law enforcement supports the R's. They don't back the blue and they reduce funding for law enforcement. They disrespect them. I agree, 100%. Fed court that blocked Texas map. Substantial evidence shows that Texas racially gerrymandered the 2025 map. Can't be used in the midterms. Yeah, I was looking at that right before I started the show. So that's great. I wonder what's going to come of that. Yay! Um, yeah, the Butler. So CMPM is saying that's a good comparison. The Butler and the CK thing. Yeah, they're this. It's like the same. Um, the setup, the same setup. Like the two assassins, or would be assassins, alleged assassins, were both on roofs. They're both Trump supporters, and it's just so many weird things. It just didn't make any sense. Allegedly. Melissa, will the Resolute desk come back to the White House? He's such a thief. Did That's Bridget? Did Bridget? Did he take it from the White House? Oh, I'm sorry. He took a facsimile of it, or there's a copy of it or something. The actual Resolute desk, I think, is still in the White House, and the other one is so he can do filming. So he doesn't have to be in the White House, and he can look like he's in the White House. I think that's what that's all about. I think that's what I'm saying. I could be wrong here. Did I hear that investigators now feel they have the wrong guy for CK's demise? Not sure if I'm getting these events mixed up. Anybody hear this? I don't know, but they do. The guides say they do allegedly have the wrong guy. It was like a Russian, somebody from Russia, like a Russian sniper who was like flown out of the country afterwards. It was not. They say this guy might have thought it was him, but it just the way that it happened and the magnitude of the shot and everything, it wasn't him. He was just set up. That's what the guide said, allegedly. Um, so Leslie's saying Ken Burns, The American Revolution series is fabulous. Everyone should watch. Thank you for the heads up. There's some amazing journalism going on right now. It seems like when people like Dan Lemon or Jim Acosta, the people on the Bulwark, I love the Bulwark right now. I might go off it sometime, but I really like it now. I think that's really interesting. The Bulwark are Republicans that kind of came over to the Democrats, and I think they're excellent in terms of their analysis. It's like it's set discourse free. It had this unintended consequence when the mainstream networks got rid of the voices they thought were too dangerous or too progressive, or um, now they're ubiquitous in social media. Like we have them, and they're not constrained, and they can say what they want. They can do the investigations they want, and it's like they were set free. So I think it had an unintended consequence that it was very positive. Um, Linda Bishop saying, and think of how much of the census was screwed up. Yeah, that's true. By 45 in 2020, that was not in favor of non-white people, female peoples too. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. CD, you're taking my word for which one? Just let me know which one or for what. Um, yeah, independent heroes, media are the heroes of this time. They really are. Well, yeah, people like Candace Owen and the extreme right are saying Israel was behind the CK shooting, but the guides say that's not true. They say Russia was behind it. That's what they say. Putin. Because everything Russia is really good at like hiding behind, like a curtain or something, hiding behind a oh, I don't know what to compare to, or hiding. I'm just going to say hiding, but then they set up things to cause these kinds of incidents that they know will cause division, and also undermine our belief in our democracy and the FBI and all of that. And then they're really good at throwing it on other people and blaming other people. They want us to be anti, and I'm not. I mean, I think that Netanyahu is a deplorable person, and his policies and everything. Um, but what I'm trying to say is that they like the conspiracy theories that divide, and if they can lead to anti-Semitism or racism or whatever. And it's on the extreme left and the extreme right. They take advantage of both of those polar opposites to bring us into um, casting um, or projecting our aspersions onto everybody but them, but really it's coming from Russia, KGB. That's what they show me. Oh, thank you. Okay, C Douglas, I see. Um, Pixie says they say Erica was in on it. Yeah, there's so much. I wonder about that too. I think I wonder if she was prepared for it, because they wanted to take Turning Point away from CK and give it over to Erica and JD, and it's a lot of money. It's a huge network, and it's a pool of resources and grifting. So let me see what the guides say and take it with a grain of salt. I know it's a controversial subject. Um, let me see. They say they don't think Erica was in on it until after it happened, but they say that she has a role of like a handler. She was like CK's handler, and she wasn't. She was. It's like she's working like an employee of this kind of global, kind of almost like mafia like network that T. Rump's involved in, and then all these different leaders are involved in. I mean, it's global. They said. So Netanyahu, they say, yes, not Israel as like a. You don't mistake Netanyahu for like the whole of Israel. Just like don't mistake Americans for you know being MAGA, or don't mistake like the orange one as like synonymous with us. It's the same thing, right? And you would imagine people from other countries might, because that's who our president is. I say that in quotation, but it's like like an international cartel, and they do some pretty insidious things allegedly, and they set this thing up. It's like they like to wag the dog. They like to create a narrative, and the more inflammatory, the better. And oh, please grain of salt, because it's kind of dangerous talking about stuff. It's just my guides. I'm a psychic. What do I know? I'm just getting some information that may or may not be true. But what I'm hearing is that it is it's just manipulating. It's how do you how do you use people and uh, organizations like Turning Point to benefit you. And I think what they thought was that CK would make a really good martyr, and be a good divisive point like that. His unfortunately they took it to that point allegedly of assassination, and but they don't show me Erica knowing about it before it happened. But she kind of, after it happened, she quickly got into the allegedly got into the mode, that she had to get into, because she became CEO really quickly. Like, and then 2 weeks later, she's like, oh, let's move on here. Let's, hey, JD, you up? It seemed like that to us, right? But it's just on such a cynical level, allegedly. Um, okay, so I don't know what you make of that. I would say political tarot families saved many lives during the lockdown. That's lovely of you to say that. Um, oh, okay, that's why you said that. I see your comments up here that I've missed. Um, Bridget, what's getting restored? Because I missed some of your comments. So yeah, it's like the same old suspects, like that have been around forever in a way. The radical right, I would say, the family, the family, which is like a network, interwoven network within the within DC of like Republicans who are associated with evangelicals, like little Mikey Johnson. They all grow beards, by the way. That's a way of showing like affiliation with them, just like DJ and uh, um, you know the Orange One's son, and Eric. I think he's attempted to grow one, but that's all like really symbolic and meaningful, because it connected up, just like with Turning Point with the evangelical church, um, and that operation. And then that's connected, right, with the Supreme Court, Opus Dei, with the radical right Supreme Court, and so forth and so on. And the you can connect it to the attempt to overthrow our government, January 6th. Yeah, it's all connected. and it's tragic. Although when I listen to CK, people aren't really listening to him anymore. I guess you can get in trouble, but it's not nice stuff to hear what he was talking about. But they've managed to make this person a martyr, even though it was just awful toxic stuff that he was saying. Um, it's so weird how everything had, like, they turned everything around with him, and I don't know. I just think it's just a lot of like tragedy and then manipulation, also, and cynicism. Yeah. So Brenda, there's a book about the family. I have it. Um, I really don't remember who wrote it, but they go into detail about all of that, and this family that Mikey Johnson and these other, like so-called Christian evangelical politicians are part of. Linda says, Handmaid's Tale, the men had beards too. I feel that's where they're trying to take us. Oh, yeah, 100%. But we're not going back, as Kamala says also. We're not going back. Yeah, Ted Cruz. Yeah, any of those politicians who grow that beard, because before the family, that wasn't really, I won't say all correct or accepted for politicians to male politicians to grow beards. There was a kind of decorum there, a hygiene. But that when the family came in, they kind of um, made that a thing to be able to identify members of the family and also to say you're part of the family. I'll have a look at that book. I haven't looked at it forever, but I'll have a look at it and get some more information from it. It's very interesting to study that little network. It's not a little network, but that network. It's interesting. It's frightening also. Pixie, what may not be true? What I'm talking about is a book that was published maybe 15 years ago or something, written by a journalist, and I think was pretty well researched. I don't think it's that difficult to find out this information either. Wouldn't it be funny to do a mugshot lineup of bearded politicians? 100%. But that doesn't mean, like, I think Salwo at some point, didn't he grow a beard? He's not one of them. But maybe because the evangelicals started growing beards, it's now kind of an acceptable thing for anybody in the Congress or whatever. But and it has maybe something to do with the Bible and biblical references about facial hair, something like that. Oh, really? Sandy Miller says, "Oh my God, my MAGA son started growing a beard not long ago." I'm going to have to find the passages in that book that talk about that. Oh, okay, Bridget, I got you. Um, oh, there was a talk about the Resolute desk being taken from the White House, and that because it was on the internet, maybe it wasn't true. And I can't say what I'm saying is 100% true or not. I'm just asking my guides and giving you answers. And I asked again, yeah, they say that but I'm sure I saw something about it too. I saw somebody speak about it, and that yeah, there are two Resolute desks. Um, Barbara's asking, or was it Pixie? Are you the one who's saying that Erica's stuff in CK was from the internet? I'm losing track here. I'm so sorry, but you guys connect the dots. Thank you. Was the cartel involved in the 2024 election? I heard that there was a transnational crime syndicate involved. I believe so. Yes, I believe that is true, and I believe that the election was stolen, and I believe that Leon flip the tabulations, and there was a lot of chicanery, and I believe that um, the Kamala won the popular vote by a lot, and it drives me crazy when I hear people say, "Oh, well, the majority of people didn't vote," or the majority of white people voted for Trump. I don't really believe in those statistics because I remember coming up to the election, what was happening, and how many, um, especially is it Generation X people and Z's, they were getting uh, totally wired up for that election. Not wired up, fired up. And the lines, we remember, like, it just seemed so obvious that Kamala was going to win. And then when that map went red, it was just so traumatic because it wasn't real. I think the majority of us knew, and just intuitively, that was, we were being attacked and the election was stolen from us. I still feel that way. I still believe that. um, it is fair to say that the Orange Man is a kleptomaniac. um, Pixie, you're saying the desk was stolen, and you may be right. I'm getting that that he had it, like there's a copy, but whether or not that's the case, I do believe if it's in Mar-a-Lago now, it will come back to the White House. It will be bought back. Um, C. Douglas is saying, did the Doge crew wipe their electronic tracks in those first few weeks of taking control so that we wouldn't be able to prove it? Oh, that's a good question. Hey, Jasmine, um, do you remember the satellites falling out of the sky? Although I think they do that normally, and um, he's got, I don't know, 7 or 8 thousand satellites up there, does Leon? But they're kind of pieces of poop, and they do, I think they they're wired to, like, when they wear out, to self-destruct. He's polluted. Oh, he's polluted the space so badly. Oh, makes me angry. And there's so much light pollution. um they thought, the guys are saying, regarding the question about wiping the electronic tracks in the few weeks after the election, the guides are saying they tried to, they thought they did, but they didn't. There are direct tracks to the steel. They're showing me, because it's through, I think, like NASA, and like there's how things are, how electronic tracks are registered in space. There are copies. Not They don't just go to one place. And I think Leon used NASA and his connection. He has those contracts, right, with the government, to work out, or make that happen, work it out. But somehow there are trails back, and there are whistleblowers who have them. And it's ridiculous. You, like the guys are showing me, that you would think that he would have wiped them out. It would have made a lot of sense. But they're not wiped out. Oh, interesting. I hope that's true. Oh, Barbara, you're welcome. Yeah, it's all about stealing, right? Grifting, stealing. That's what this administration is about, because they're criminals. I mean, that's not even alleged with the orange one, because he's a multi convicted felon, and convicted of uh, his essay of Carol. Jean Carroll. How did it come to this? This is our karma of our generation to witness this, but I feel also it's our karma to resist and bring in what we want, because this is not right. This is wrong on so many levels, on a million levels. So let me see if there's anything else that I can tell you or what the guides want me to tell you. I'll check the new comments first. Oh no, I didn't. Jasmine is saying, Melissa, did you know that Bubba mentioned in Epstein's email stands for little boys? Yep, I didn't know that. Oh, Steph, are you talking about Carolyn Levitt? And she's got the Miss Piggy nose. Will the money be paid back? Yes, it will be. We will get our money back. We will get billions of it back. They're showing me that, the guides. And again, I want to mention we will rebuild, as far as my guides say. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I see the East Wing being rebuilt exactly how it was. Yep. Huh. So more will come out this week. It's crazy that the week just started. It's only Tuesday. More about Epstein files, more salacious information, witnesses continuing to speak up, T-Rump continuing to make his obfuscations. That's the word that they're giving me. But I'm hearing this. You can run, but you can't hide. And there's going to be more information, not just about the Epstein files, but oh, the elections being stolen. Like there's a lot of information that's going to come out now about that. Huh? Ooh, didn't expect to hear that. Oh wow, Linda. um, yeah, Linda's saying it's a very controversial thing, and I'm a little nervous to put it up. But Linda's saying that I did a show a while back that I saw there might have been unaliving videos in the Epstein files, and she sees that. Oh yeah, because they had that weird temple. Really, remember a really weird temple on the island, and it was like it's almost like a kind of typical satanic black magic type of where there might have been sacrifice. Oh yeah, allegedly. But do you remember that? Do you remember that temple? I think if there are any of those kind of videos, that might be where they took place. Um, yeah, exactly, Linda. Sacrifice. Ooh, I don't like that at all. Then that will 45. Can you imagine 45 running? I was just joking. That's cruel. Will 45 try and make a run for it? Well, my guys say that they still say this, but time is just, and divine timing is divine timing. So things, even though you'd like, not like them to happen now, but you think, oh, it should happen now just to get on with things. Um, Not that I wish anything bad to happen to anybody, but they're saying that there is some kind of a stroke or something coming up for him that's major. But they've been showing me this for a while. But I can see now, like with all of this stuff happening that he cannot control, and the Republicans, I don't think he ever thought that his Republicans in the Congress, would rebel against him. But then look at FTG. That's fascinating, and there's going to be more and more of them because they're losing their constituents. Linda's saying, LOL 45 can roll faster than he can run. Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about Megan, did we? I don't remember. Did we talk about that at the beginning? What she said? We can kind of, this can be our like last discussion here. Um, but she's, yeah, I wanted to talk about that. Megan Kelly saying that she heard from a friend of hers that was really like there in the scene at the time of the Epstein, the height of the Epstein, uh, I don't know, I'm at a loss for words, of what was going on with Epstein and the trafficking and stuff. And I think she was trying to mitigate it for her friend T Rump, but she was saying, yeah, he said that Epstein wasn't a pedo, because it wasn't 8-year-old girls. It was like barely legal. She said 15-year-olds, who looked older than they were, and then when Epstein was done with them, then he would pass them on, and I just was like, what? Scooby Doo, huh? What the heck are you saying there? Listen to yourself. And and also knowing that, having heard, I think might even have been in Virginia Dufresne's book, that there's stories about Epstein allegedly bringing over 12-year-olds from France, and maybe I heard somebody say maybe as young as 9, and so her saying that, her soul is just not there. It's just hard to get that out of my our I think our collective mind. And it really should. I don't think Megan should have a career. I think she should be pulled off the air. That's so disgusting. And that would be a question, right? Will there be ramifications for what Megan said? Did anybody else see her say that? Yeah, Megan has a 14-year-old daughter. Where's our outrage? And then was that somehow okay that, yeah, you can traffic a 15-year-old, that's all right. And you can destroy their life, and you can then just pass them on, and use them for however you're using them. We're good with that. Just how low people will go for their leader. Yeah, she really is a lost soul. So I'm glad somebody brought that up, because I had wanted to talk about it. It's just mind blowing, and I'd like to see what the consequence that there would be consequences for that. Oh, Jasmine's saying there was an English investigator who said Melania was Epstein's girlfriend before Trump. I've had that in my mind. I kind of knew that, because just you can read the information in that picture of the four of them, right? T. Rump, Melania, Epstein, and then Ghislaine. And Melania is like, whoa. It looks like the opposite direction that she was going. Was she going in this direction? Yeah, here was T Rump, and then Melania was like leaning as far away as she could from him, and just kind of like almost with her head on Epstein's shoulder. And I went, I can see what's going on there. I can read the body language, and I believe that he. I mean, it's coming out in the emails, etc. That he uses these girls for influence, and he was colluding. He was getting money from Russia and J.P. Morgan, and that he was using the information as compromise for a long time. So yeah, Russia comes back into the picture. And that I have a video of that if anybody wants to see my it hasn't seen my past life videos, especially the one on is Melania a Red Sparrow. So I did go into depth about that. Was she sent over indirectly from Putin to be T Rump's handler? And I believe that is probably true, allegedly, I should say, as far as I can see. And I think Ivanka may have been also, because their fathers, both of them, had connections with the uh, Russian government and allegedly the KGB, or some kind of a governmental department. Oh my goodness. So you guys, I can't believe this hour has flown by. I love you so much. Thank you for being in my community. And we will see what happens this week. And I'll ask my guides one more time. Is there anything else they can, send your way? Any information? Yes. They're saying this is all like fated, meant to be. This the tower, in the tarot, this dissolution of this corrupt government, and the ending of it, the ending of it, the final, act. Oh, they want to tell me more. It's about a person, a woman, Kamala Harris. They're still saying she's going to be restored to her throne. That's what I hear. Okay, I hope that's true. I love you. Take care. I'll see you next week. Be good. I always say be good, but I don't mean be good. May good things happen to you. You can be. I mean, what is good? Well, I think there is a line of what is good and what is evil, but be well. That's what I'm trying to say, and enjoy the rest of your week. Hope some of you get to catch the Northern Lights. I will, because I think they're going to be around for the remaining week, wherever you are, if you can see them. I'll be back. You take care. Bye bye. Here, I'm going to leave Nanette's comment up for everybody. Bye bye.